I told my dad that I want to challenge Ra's al Ghul and I want to take his place as their leader of the League of Shadows, and he said, you know what, that's actually a great idea, because if you show yourself as a truly powerful leader, even David Cain will follow you. And I asked my father, who's David Cain, dad, and dad said it's the man that taught me everything I know about prep time, and he's the greatest assassin and the best ninja in the world, you need to learn from him too. And I asked, so where are they, dad? And he told me that they are located in Nandu Parbat in the Hindu Kush mountains, and before me and Harley Quinn went there I taught her how to use ki energy to strengthen her body and everything, and I even shocked her with ki energy so it naturally flows through her body now, and I could sense her energy, and I was surprised to find out that she's actually stronger than Super Saiyan 2 Goku in her base form, which means that she could knock out people like Ra's al Ghul and his daughters if she has to, but I plan on turning Ra's al Ghul's daughters to my side because as it turns out the League of Shadows has a prophecy about me becoming their strongest leader. I plan on being in a romantic relationship with Talia al Ghul and Nissa al Ghul, and I plan on also recreating the Continental from the world of John Wick so that the League of Shadows could operate inside the criminal underworld and operate inside the law and outside it at the same time. Basically, we will be able to erase all evidence that we even committed crimes in the first place. We will all operate within the big cities, slowly purging criminals. And then after I was done training Harley Quinn in martial arts and using ki and everything, we were now ready to go to Nandu Parbat. And then I asked around in a nearby city where Nandu Parbat is, and a man in a hood and face mask approached me and told me where to go, and I smirked and I said he already knows I'm coming, so I'm going to surprise him by not doing what he wants me to do. And I decided to take a plane ride to that location, so I paid a pilot handsomely for a very large parachute for me and Harley Quinn to use to land right on the mountain where their base. Later that same day Ra's al Ghul started talking about me, and he said, I wonder what will be left of him after his hiking adventure to my fortress. I wonder if he's as strong as his father told me he is. And then suddenly a plane flew over Ra's al Ghul and his people, and they started pointing their bows and arrows at the big plane, and he said, wait, don't shoot, I see something, I think that's him. And then me and Harley Quinn dropped out of the sky, and we both used a very large parachute to glide down to Ra's al Ghul's Asian palace or temple or whatever his house is, and then we both landed a little bit farther away from Ra's al Ghul and his people, and Ra's al Ghul said, don't shoot, I see his face, that's them. And Talia al Ghul said, them, father, what do you mean? And Ra's al Ghul said, yes, them, he brought his girlfriend with him. And me and Harley Quinn moved fast, and then I walked up to Ra's al Ghul and I acted like a well-mannered and highly educated man because I am a genius after all, so I have the right to act like one, and because of my confidence and my certainty Ra's al Ghul liked that behavior. And then Ra's al Ghul started to analyze me already, and he now knew that I'm already very experienced at martial arts, and he even suspected that I might knock the ancient martial arts Drish Shastra because of how defined all my muscles are. And he asked me, do you know Drish Shastra? And I stopped talking to the others for a moment and I let the silence linger, and then I smirked and I said, yes sir. And Ra's al Ghul listened to my heartbeat and he knew I was telling the truth, and he said, interesting, that fighting style usually takes people centuries to master, or you would have to be a fighting genius to master it, and if you are, well, I can't wait to teach you everything I know, and David Cain would love to meet you and train you as well. And I said, it would be an honor sir, and I bowed with respect to the Liam Neeson lookalike Ra's al Ghul. And Ra's said, your girlfriend looks as though she will need more training, however I see great potential in her as well, even though she has a childlike personality. And I said, she's tougher than she looks, trust me, I don't think she will disappoint you. And then Ra's told me that your father said you hate criminals and that you have killed many criminals along with your girlfriend, and he said, tell me Bruce Wayne, are you willing to do whatever is necessary to save the world from these criminals? And I said, yes, but within reason, Ra's al Ghul. And he said, please explain. And I said, I will not kill innocent people. And he said, I understand that more than you know, but what if you had no choice, Bruce Wayne, what would you do then? And then I said, there must always be another way, Ra's al Ghul, and I will try my best to save innocent people.